Hi everybody, this is Crystal. So today I'm going to show you how to make this flower made out of the Scrubby yarn. That way you can wash your dishes with it. This is the first time I've worked with the Scrubby yarn, and probably be my last time. I'm not a big fan of it. I mean, nothing against Red Heart, just not one of my favorite yarns of theirs. It's kind of hard to work with, but this is what it looks like. It's Red Heart Scrubby yarn. And there's 92 yards in a skein, and you'll be able to make lots of scrubbies with that. And the color I am using is called Bubblegum. And I'm going to be using a size I, which is a 5.5 millimeter crochet hook. So I'm going to start off with my yellow for the center of the flower. You want to start with a slip knot on your hook, and then we're going to work a chain of 4. So here's 1, 2, 3, 4, and I'm going to slip stitch back into the first stitch to form a ring, and then I'm going to chain 1, and now I'm going to work 12 double crochets through the center of the ring. So I'm just going to yarn over, go through the center, drop a loop, and then do my double crochet. And I want to do that 12 times total, so I've already done it twice. There's 3, 4, 5. Okay, once you get your 12 double crochets done through the center of the ring, you want to go ahead and slip stitch into your first double crochet. Not that chain one we did, that does not count as anything. The first double crochet. And I'm going to clip this off now. And I'm going to switch to my Scrubby color yarn. Tie that off. Now if you pull your center string here, or your tail here, it should pull that closed a little bit, and then you can sew it together the rest of the way at the end. Okay, now you want to grab your Scrubby yarn. Now this is the first time I use this Scrubby yarn. I'm not really a big fan of it, I have to admit. It's kind of not very fun to crochet with, but it makes a pretty cute project. So you just want to start in any stitch, and you want to go ahead and pull your Scrubby yarn through. Probably be one of the last times that I work with Scrubby yarn. No offense to Red Heart or anything, but this isn't my favorite. Okay, you want to chain 3. 3. Now we're going to work 5 double crochets back into that same stitch. So 5 doubles into that same stitch. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we're going to chain 3 again. 1, 2, 3, and then we're going to slip stitch into the same stitch. So it was a chain 3, 5 doubles, and then another chain 3, and then we just slip stitch into our same stitch, and that made our first petal. Now we're going to slip stitch over into the next stitch, like that, and then we're going to slip stitch one more time to the next, and then we're going to do another petal in this stitch. So we're going to start with a chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and then we're going to work 5 double crochets back into the same stitch. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we're going to chain 3 again. 1, 2, 3, slip stitch back into the exact same stitch, and that is your second petal. Now we're going to slip stitch into the next stitch, and then slip stitch one more time into the next stitch, and then we'll start another petal. And we're just going to repeat this all the way around. So we're going to chain 3, 5 double crochets into that same stitch. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, chain 3, and into the same stitch we slip stitch. I hope you can see what I'm doing, because I know this yarn's kind of not very friendly to see. And then you just slip stitch again into the next stitch, slip stitch into the next, and start your petal again. So I'm going to repeat this all the way around until I get back to the beginning, and you should have a total of 6 petals when you make it back around. Okay, once you make it all the way around, you should have 1 stitch left after your 6th petal. Go ahead and slip stitch into that stitch, and then you want to slip stitch one more time right here into the beginning space. And then I'm going to clip this off now. I think it's just easier to clip it now and start again. So go ahead and clip that and tie it like that. So there's your first row. Now hopefully you can see how I do this next one, because this yarn's hard to see. Now we're going to be working, what you want to do is work from the back. What is what I do. And you just stick your yarn kind of right through the petal to where it comes out the other side, and go into that, right back down into the same stitch like that. And pull your yarn through like that. And now what you want to do is a chain of 3. 1, 2, 3. And what this is doing is making the next set of petals in between the next 2. So again, pull your next petal back and go through the petal to where your hook's on the other side, and then back through the same stitch that petal's in, and pull your yarn through and slip stitch it, and then chain 3, kind of loosely chain 3, and that's where we're going to put our next petals on these chain 3s. So you move to the next petal, and I'm sorry it's so hard to see with this yarn. Go through the petal to where you're kind of lowered though, through the petal, and then put your hook through the same stitch that the petal's in, pull your yarn through and slip stitch, and then chain 3. 1, loosely, 2, 3, like that. And this is what we're going to do all the way around. So we go to the next petal, kind of flip it down towards the bottom, go stick your hook through, and then go through that same space that the petal's in, flip it back over, pull it through, and slip stitch, loosely chain 3. 1, 2, 3. Jump to your next petal, do it again. So from behind, go through the petal, and then through that same stitch, pull it through, slip stitch, chain 3. 1, 2, 3. We're going to keep doing this until we get back to the beginning. Flip the next petal over. It's easier when it's not this kind of yarn, because you can see it better and it don't get so tangled up. And then go into that same stitch and then pull it through. This yarn kind of gets tangled on everything. Chain 3, go to the next one, and that's where we started. So what you want to do is just, we're back to where we started, just slip stitch into that chain space. So now you should have 6 chain spaces back there, and I'm sorry if that was hard to see. Like I said, this isn't my favorite yarn, Probably never use it again. Sorry, Red Heart. So this isn't one of your winning yarns for me. Okay, now what we're gonna do is chain 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And we're just gonna be working in these chain spaces now, and we're gonna make petals in them. So now what we're gonna do is 6 triple crochets into this chain space. Triple crochets. So there's 1, and that's not counting that chain 4, just 6 regular triple crochets. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then we're going to chain 4 and slip stitch into the same chain space. So it's similar to the last set of petals, except we're doing triples. Like that. And now we're going to slip stitch over to the next chain space here. You can see it. Slip stitch. Chain 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 6 triple crochets. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then chain 4 and slip stitch into the same chain space. I guess so. One good thing about this yarn is you can't tell if you make a mistake. Then you jump over to the next chain space, and we're just going to keep repeating this until we get back around to the beginning, and you'll have 6 petals too. So chain 4 again. And then we do our 6 triple crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, it's horrible. 6. Chain 4. I feel bad talking so ill about it, but Red Heart's not paying me to use it, and even if they were, I would not recommend it. I would. Okay, you just want to repeat that all the way around till you have your 6 back petals, and I just did my 6th one, and I'm going to chain 4 there at the end, slip stitch back into the same chain space, and then I'm going to tie it off, and that is it. Hide that tail, and that's all there is to it. And you got a little scrubby to use for your pans. It's pretty cute, really easy. Please don't forget to check out my other tutorials. I have hundreds of them. Don't forget to check me out on Facebook too. If you make this or anything else, I'd really like to see a picture of it. You could post a picture on my Bagoday Crochet Facebook page. I'll put a link to that below in the description box. And I'll put a link to my Etsy shop where you can find some patterns there. Not all of them, but some of them. And you can follow me on Instagram, Twitter, Pinterest. I'll put the links to all that stuff below. And until next time, have a good day.